cramped, his skin was so cold. "Why are you so cold?" He feigned surprise. "How can you say I'm cold?" Briefly, I was inside. I went to bed and don't remember the time I fell asleep. Nothing comes to mind. I didn't see when he entered the room, when he lay down on the bed, how he knew where the bedroom was. But when I woke up, he was kneeling at the edge of the bed, praying. I let him finish. "Already standing, and you too. When did you enter?" "Just after you. You were so exhausted you fell asleep quickly, and I didn't want to disturb you." "Okay. I'll check if Mom slept well." "All right. I'll go out to the courtyard." It was then I should have understood things. Entering Mom's room, I found the doctor who had returned with results suggesting just severe malaria and high blood pressure. But on the bed, a mother exhausted as if she had fought all night. The doctor demanded immediate hospitalization. I went to talk to Gabriel, who, of course, had his car ready. They transported Mom then and took her to the hospital. Gabriel driving, my cousin giving directions to the hospital, and the doctor following behind. Mom breathed heavily. Until we reached the hospital, she was put on a stretcher and calmed down. He reassured her. "Don't worry, it will be okay." "Thank you for being here, Gabriel. Mom is all I have left. I can't lose her." At that same moment, someone called me to say Mom wanted to see me and speak with me. I went to her room, and there she was, better than morning. She looked at me, concerned. "Elise, how are you?" "Mom, I'm fine. You're the one who scares me." "Tell me, my daughter, the man who drives today, is he your fiancé?" "Yes." She threw her head back, something that intrigued me. "Why, Mom, what's going on? Tell me. How long have you known each other?" 6 months ago. Gabrielle, tell me, have you seen him?" I don't know, but I've seen him." "Where?" "This night in my dreams, and he pressed where I hurt. So hard that I woke up in pain at those spots." "Mom, in your dreams, are you sure it's him?" Elise. I wouldn't mistake his face if he was hurting me in that dream. It was indeed him. After revealing that, Mom suddenly grew tired. As if she were fading away, the doctor entered the room and asked me to step out, assuring me everything would be okay. She said everything would be fine and that I had nothing to worry about. I left to join Gabriel but couldn't bring myself to tell him what Mom had shared. I wasn't sure how he'd react. But then, I thought it must just be the sickness making her delirious. "How is she doing?" He asked calmly, as if mocking, as if knowing what happened inside. "No, she just wanted to talk." "Ah, got it. The doctor, what did he say?" "I'm waiting. He told me it comes back." "Okay. While you were inside, I thought of something." "What?" "If things aren't going well, we should take her to town. You have a big apartment. She could stay until she feels better. It's an idea, but let's wait for the doctor first." I was skeptical and couldn't accept that Gabriel was what Mom thought he was. Impossible. Later, the doctor called and made it clear that Mom's situation was becoming more complex. For me, it was a beautiful thing because the idea of Gabriel enchanted me. But I wanted to share Mom's dream with someone. And since the doctor was there, I spilled everything. He listened intently, and I felt he wouldn't trivialize it like I did. So he said. The doctor paused, his voice softening. "Tell me more about her dream," he urged gently. Mom dreamed of a place, a land where the sea whispered secrets. She spoke of Mommy Wada, the water spirit, who guided her through unknown waters. The doctor leaned forward, his eyes intense. "Did she mention anyone else?" I hesitated, my mind racing. "Yes, she talked about Mavian and Bobby, too." The doctor nodded slowly. Go on, he prompted, his tone encouraging. She described Mavian, the guardian of the deep, and Bobby, the messenger between worlds. Each character held a piece of the "Take care of your mother, my daughter. Pray much for her and watch over her. That's all I can tell you." He patted my shoulder and left to sign the hospital discharge papers. I went to tell Gabriel we'd have to go into town with Mom, and he said there were no issues. In the time to fetch my suitcase, we took the road to town with Mom inside and a cousin accompanying us. Mammon was so agitated in her sleep during the journey, as if fighting invisible foes. My cousin and I tried to calm her, but Gabriel remained silent, driving us to Yaoundé. Once in the city, he led us to a private clinic, where he asked they take care of Mammon and manage all the bills. At the hospital, he told me to call if anything went wrong. But where does he go? "Jay've got things to settle urgently and I'll be right back." Okay. Gabriel's gesture proved he could never wish anyone harm, especially not my mom. He left, and once we had Mammon under care, I returned to the apartment for a shower and fresh clothes. The hospital stay hadn't been easy. Between Mammon's fits, her pains without cause or origin. But on one side, it was soothing because Gabriel was here, handling everything. It was he who comforted me, visiting the hospital each day but staying only briefly. My cousin returned to the village when Mom started to improve, about a month later. She said, "Elise, I don't want to stay in this clinic anymore." I didn't understand why, but I think it was because she was exposed to certain things and I didn't know about them. For 3 days, she begged to leave that clinic, until that night when she said, "If another night finds me here, it will be my corpse you bring home, for I will stop fighting." For once, I did not take her words lightly and returned with her to the apartment. I hadn't informed Gabriel. I hadn't managed to reach him. He was unavailable. But when he called and I told him I was home with Mammon, he went wild with rage. "What does that mean?" "What? She just didn't want to stay there anymore." "Is it her decision, Elise? She's sick. She needs treatment. The doctor decides if she can leave or not, but you take her home anyway. Gabriel, I tried calling you. Why call me? I'm a doctor. What kind of story is this? Respect people's efforts. If something happens to her, I won't be responsible. I'm warning you now." He hung up. Never had I felt him so angry. Louis, who was calm and spoke little, he acted as though I had committed the biggest mistake of my life. For 3 days, he was unreachable and unavailable. I didn't push things. I waited for him to return. In the meantime, I took care of Mammon, who was recovering faster than before. During Mammon's recovery, which was going well, I sensed she wanted to say something but feared doing it. Every time I returned from work, she'd ask me questions, and those questions always revolved around Gabriel. She asked what he did in life, and I replied, how we met too. But when she asked if I knew where he lived, I lied. Yes, but it's quite far from here and my workplace. That's why he preferred to stay here. Okay, if you say so. Is he religious? Of course. And Mom, I have to admit I was surprised to see it. Are you sure? But why all these doubts, Mammon? I don't know, but I'll be honest with you. I don't sense anything in him. I might be wrong, but I have this feeling. He's empty. He lacks an soul. Mammon, we're talking about someone who paid just so you'd feel good. That's what intrigues me. And the fact that you confirmed he's religious. I might be wrong, but be careful. Honestly, it irritated me that Mother thought so little of Gabriel after everything he had done for her. She wouldn't have been my mother. She would have said nasty things. but I managed to keep calm, though I shouldn't have. 2 days later at the shop, I received Gabriel's call, the one who hadn't shown any signs of life for ages. Hello. Yes, Elise, how are you? I'm okay, and you? Fine. You are where? At work. Okay, I'll come pick you up. Want to go say goodnight to Mommy Wada. Okay, I finish in 15 minutes. Got it. Heading out now. I didn't know where he came from, but hearing his voice again was such a relief. Soon I'll see him again, too. Was it Gabriel, of course? I told you he'd return. He's serious. Jasmine, why defend him so much? I'm not defending him. I just tell the truth and you know it. A few minutes later, he was already outside waiting for me. I went to meet him. Evening, dear. As if we had parted only yesterday without issue. As if those few days of silence never happened. Evening, Gabriel. Eki, is there no dear anymore? Why, when you abandoned me for days? No, we will fix it. I bought this for Mommy Wada. Behind the car, bags filled with cloths, shoes, perfumes, and other small trinkets. She hopes she'll love them. She will love them very much. Don't worry. As we took off towards home, we arrived, entered, and Mommy Wada was watching TV. The first official meeting between us was pleasant. Mommy Wada, it's wonderful to see you looking well. Thank you, my son. Thank you for what you did. No, Mommy Wada, please. I did it exactly as I would have done for my own mother, merci. She held up the plastic bag. Here, I brought you these little things, he said, his voice soft but firm. She appreciated the gifts with so much love, her eyes shining. I think it calmed Mommy Wada, who then started chatting with him. She asked questions, but didn't pry too much. In the kitchen, I listened. Content, I felt Mommy Wada at ease. Gabriel didn't join us for dinner. As usual, he had more important matters. He came to see you and give you your packages, she said gently. Gabriel, always busy with bigger tasks. I'm glad you're up. Thank you, my son. Nice of you. Okay, goodbye. I went to see him off. He told me he'd be away for a week. He had a mission trip. All right. But check in now and then. Don't worry. Then he left, and I returned to Mommy Wada. Together, we unpacked the gifts' high-end items. Then came the retaliation. Already I noticed each night Mommy Wada couldn't sleep well. She always had nightmares and woke suddenly in the night. When asked what was wrong, she couldn't answer and never remembered her dreams. One morning, as I prepared for work, I saw her packing a small bag. Mom, what's going on? I'm going home. Why? The worst part was that we hadn't had any problems and even talked nicely before separating that evening. She says she's going home. Is she coming back because she needs a reason to enter her husband's house? No, but it seems like I've done something wrong. Hush, let me in. She insisted, almost demanding the transportation money. Reluctantly, I gave it to her. Mother stepped out, heading to the village. But before leaving, at the door, she said, "Watch yourself, Elise. Remember what I told you. Watch yourself." And that was all. The departure of Mommy Wada should have opened my eyes, put the bug in my ear. But I believe I was under an hypnotic spell, maybe even spiritually, because at no moment did I make any connection with Gabriel. With Mommy Wada gone, I went to work, thinking and feeling guilty at the same time. Wondering what I could possibly have done to make her react like that, but finding no answer. I recounted the scene to Jasmine, and as always, she who takes things lightly said, "It's nothing serious, Elise. Just give it some time." Perhaps the village already missed her. You know our mothers like that. Yes, but she should have told me she just wanted to go back. But it seemed she was having a fit of something. Elise, our mothers are like that. If I tell you what mine often does, huh? At least I hope she gets there safely. That's all we wish for. The rest isn't very important. Yet those details shouldn't be taken lightly. Seconds later, I receive a call. Gabriel's voice comes through the phone. I pick up, startled. Where is your mother? Pardon? What do you mean, where is she? I can't believe he's asking this without even greeting me. She wasn't home when I stopped by to say hello. Are you at home? Yes, actually, I'm already in my car since I knocked tired. Oh, no, Mama came back. What? How can that be? I could sense his surprise and disappointment. It seemed he had plans with her and she canceled them. She got up early today and decided to return without reason. But Elise, why react like this? What did I do? Mother left and you didn't even inform me. What does that mean? But since I'm telling you, I was surprised too this morning. Oh, damn, why does it seem to bother you? You look very embarrassed. In fact, no, it's not that. It's just that I had planned something for her. But if it's money, we can send it to the village. No, I wanted to give it directly to her. But okay, it doesn't matter. I'll go back to work. We'll talk later. And he hung up. Was it him? Asked Jasmine. Yes, he wanted to see Mommy Wada. You see, boy who thinks of his stepmother. Except I didn't tell Jasmine how Gabriel reacted on the phone. That night, Gabriel neither wrote nor called, but I expected it. All that mattered was confirming Mommy Wada arrived safely. When I checked on her room, a strange discovery awaited me. Every gift Gabriel gave her, she left behind. Gifts, perfumes, everything inside that package. She left nothing behind. At first, I thought it was an oversight, but I knew my mother's love for such gifts too well. It felt strange. And right now, it wasn't the time to ask about it. So I carried on as if nothing happened. After that episode, I stopped thinking about it all. The sudden departure of Mommy Wada, the forgotten presence, everything was behind me. That day, though, I had to face Gabriel. He found me at the shop and decided to spend the whole day with us. We never counted sales like we did that day. The store was bustling, even forgotten items were selling. Magic. I remember that day, we closed 3 hours later than usual. The boss, very pleased, gave us a day off, the next one. Of course, after that day, I went home and Gabriel back to his place. I began to settle in, holding on to hope that things would change. But before he left, he said, I must marry you now and live with you from today. Pause. Yes, of course. Did you think otherwise? Last night, I spoke to a priest about you and my plans for you. I believe it's time to enjoy your star. Pause. I won't delay anymore. Next month, I will marry you. In a month. Yes, is there an issue? To inform your family, that's all you have to do. She tells me what to do, what to bring. Butterflies danced in my stomach. Yes, I was very happy. He dropped me off, gave me a slight smile as I headed back to my apartment. Then he left. I called Jasmine and told her. Then I sent the news to Mommy Wada to prepare. Gabriel had decided to marry me next month. The news of my engagement spread quickly through the village. It was rare for such things to happen here. My mother gathered her brothers and shared the plan so together they could compile a list for the dowry, as tradition required. Things moved swiftly, and soon I was summoned to the village to discuss with my family before informing my fiancé. A meeting took place at our house. The list was long, but Gabriel had asked me not to negotiate. to fetch and bring it to him instead. You deserve all the world's gold. I won't haggle to reduce your dowry cost. Those were his words. As my uncles chatted among themselves after agreeing, my mother pulled me aside. Elise, are you okay? Her gaze pierced my soul as she asked if I was okay. It felt like she was searching deep inside me. I'm fine, Mother, I said. And you? Just weird, she replied, knowing that soon my daughter will belong to another family. How can that be? Even if we marry, you'll always be my family, my mother. I hope so, she sighed, because sometimes you seem so lost in this marriage that I fear you might be blinded by some things. I said nothing, just watched her. Then she asked, tell me honestly, are you happy with him? With whom? Gabriel? Yes, of course, Mother. Otherwise, why would I be here talking about marriage? There are people who marry without being happy. That's not my case, Mother. Okay, all I ask is that he does the church. It's planned, Mother. We're getting married in church. Okay, she spoke to ensure Gabriel was devout and that she hadn't misjudged him. But she underestimated the foe. The next day, I took off for Yeun Day. Gabriel waited outside our apartment. I handed over the list and he left. I was late for work too, so I dropped my bag, changed quickly, and headed to the store. All day I chatted with Jasmine, sharing that my mother wasn't exactly thrilled about this union. Still, we talk about your daughter getting married, but for Mom, it's like it's someone else's daughter. Mother has a way of expressing joy, even if indirectly. Jasmine, please, I know my mother well. If she were truly happy, I'd know it. Well, since you think she's not happy, what will you do? Are you going to cancel the wedding? Leave Gabriel? She blessed me with her hands and gave me the list. So I reckon she's not as angry as all that. She's just dealing with it. We're back to where I said. When are the ceremonies scheduled for? In 2 weeks or 3. Got it. Gabriel planned to tie the knot right after the dowry, leaving us 3 weeks. He tasked me with food while he handled logistics. This week, I head to Italy to pick up our wedding attire. Of course, he'd informed me our wedding clothes had been ordered from Italy. I was relieved. Jasmine stayed with me now, my maid of honor. We shopped together, her advice invaluable for my beauty treatments. 2 days before the dowry, Gabriel called us at a restaurant. We went with Jasmine, and there he was with a woman who looked exactly like his mother but older, and it was true. Mom, he said, introducing a woman who seemed soft, kind, and deeply calm. She avoided everyone's eyes, looking shy. Mommy Wada greeted her warmly. Pleased to meet you, daughter. I hope you're well. I'm well, Mama, and you? Oh, just some nerves. They exchanged polite pleasantries briefly. She wanted to get to know her future daughter-in-law. Their conversation was short. She excused herself. At least a face was put to a family member. Gabriel also took his leave later, leaving them alone. 2 days later in the village, Gabriel arrived in a grand procession with friends, colleagues, people he claimed were family, even his mother among them. Cheers welcomed them. An uncle delivered a blessings-filled speech, followed by welcoming songs and everything needed to make the ceremony memorable and joyful. But one thing stood out. Mother. She didn't seem swept up in the celebration, her joy barely visible. The crowd thinned, and suddenly only the sound of crickets filled the air. Mother stood there, a stark contrast to the lively scene around her. Her eyes, though, held a deep sadness, a sorrow that cut through the festive noise. Gabriel's mother approached, her steps slow and deliberate. She hugged Mommy Wada, then looked around as if searching for something lost. A fleeting smile played on her lips, quickly fading back into a mask of calm. "Mama," Gabriel whispered, stepping closer. "Mother, why aren't you happier?" Her gaze met his, and for an instant, time paused. "Happiness is not what I came here for today, Gabriel." A heavy silence settled between them. The world outside seemed to hold its breath, waiting. When asked, she said everything was fine. But inside, I knew Mother wasn't happy with how things were unfolding. The ceremony had rushed by because the wedding was the next day, so at sunset, they released me to return home with my husband, as tradition dictated. I followed Gabriel. Once in town, I went home with Jasmine while Gabriel went to his place. The next day, civil marriage, then church, followed by a lovely reception, and I became officially Mrs. Details of the ceremony stuck with me. The preparations, the music, everyone laughing and dancing. But Mother's absence, her quietness, weighed heavily. At the reception, people cheered, but Mother stayed apart, watching, almost like an outsider. She nodded politely, smiled faintly, yet her eyes held a distant sadness. Gabriel noticed too. "Mama," he whispered, moving closer. "Mother, why aren't you happier?" Her gaze met his, and for a moment time stopped. "Happiness isn't what I sought today, Gabriel." A thick silence fell between them. Outside, the world held its breath, waiting. For me, if I had ever harbored even a flicker of doubt about Gabriel, all that vanished that day. I blamed Mother for her constant dampening spirit. I was certain of one thing alone. She had misjudged Gabriel. Whatever her thoughts, she was wrong. I decided to stop dwelling on it. Even seeing her didn't bother me anymore. Her sad figure on a chair tore at my heart, especially when others around us were fully enjoying the celebration. The only time I saw Mother truly focused was at the church. It seemed she expected Gabriel to fall apart, scrutinizing him so intently. But against all expectations, Gabriel recited the prayers flawlessly, knew parts of the Bible, and was perfectly synchronized with the priest. To me, he was the perfect man. So I couldn't help but vent my frustration at Mother for not expressing joy on my happiest day. I let her know just how disappointed I was, driven by sheer exasperation. Outside, the congregation sang hymns, their voices filling the air. Inside, Mother sat rigid, her expression unreadable. Gabriel stood beside her, his face alight with something akin to reverence. The contrast was stark. I felt a pang of guilt, but also a fierce protectiveness over Gabriel. He deserved better than this cold assessment from his mother. Afterward, we left the church. The crowd thinned, leaving behind a hush. Mother walked ahead, her steps measured. Gabriel followed silently, his gaze occasionally drifting to me. I reached out, took his hand. "It's okay," I murmured. "We'll get through." But before we reach that, let me continue the story here. The honeymoon was set for 2 days hence, time enough to say goodbye to our hosts. But first, I had gone to spend the night for the very first time at Gabriel's place right after the reception. We were alone in his car, driving along, while another car belonging to his colleague trailed behind us. That evening, I felt the weight of fatigue, for through the rearview mirror, whenever I looked back, there was no one behind us, yet the car moved on. I lay down on the seat and began to nod off. Long, empty roads led us finally to an enormous house, brightly lit and exquisitely luxurious. She gazed at it, wide-eyed. "Is this your home? What's wrong? You don't like it?" "No, I am surprised." As I admired its architectural masterpiece, I noticed something else. For a moment, the trailing car had vanished, only to reappear again. In this quiet, isolated spot where Gabriel's house stood, the silence whispered, the night murmured, and the trees watched over us. He invited her inside. "Welcome home, thank you." So tired, we barely noticed how we arrived in the bedroom, but it was even more beautiful than she imagined. Had she wanted to make love that day, but she was so exhausted, she didn't know when she fell asleep. The next morning, Gabriel woke her up. Her mother was there, come to say goodbye. Elise slipped on a dress. Her mother is downstairs, waiting for us. She's leaving. Okay. I quickly dressed and we went down. I still had time to gaze at the magnificent house that would now be mine. In the grand salon, my mother was there. At the same moment, I noticed the house was staffed with maids, butlers, and guards. Yet, upon our arrival tonight, I swore he lived alone. "Goodbye, Mom. Goodbye, my daughter. Not too tired, I hope." "Not really. I'm okay." "Sorry to wake you, just leaving now. Goodbye. Took me long enough. I don't belong here anymore." In here. I thought it was just saying the party was over. But she knew exactly what she said. "So, Elise, soon I'll see you back home. Back ours." Head nodding slightly, she stood up and left. He spent the brief time he had with me preparing to go say goodbye to his colleagues, taking advantage of the moment to give me basic house rules. "I guess you're going out. Just wanted to tell you this, you can't come in after 10 p.m. alone. If I'm not here, call before you get in. Got it?" He smiled, thinking it was just couple rules. He added, "Guests, strangers, no, before inviting anyone. You need to talk to me first. I don't want to be responsible for something you can't handle." Agreed. I agreed already. Especially since I didn't have enough knowledge to realize the house would be packed non-stop. The only friend I had was Jasmine. "And finally, you'll stop working at the shop and stay my wife. I'll triple your salary and you'll stay here just to be my wife." Even though being active will miss me, I had to honor my husband's choices and did exactly that. "If you follow them, we'll remain at peace, and no one will have issues because you'll understand why." For me, simple rules, protection for him, but for him, a trap closing soon around me. I intended to obey my husband like I saw Mommy Wada make in the past, so those prohibitions I took as home rules, I planned to enforce them fully. When my husband left, he refused to let me accompany him. So, I took the opportunity to visit my mother, who was still in the apartment I used to rent. She was there with Jasmine. I thought of a polite and joyful meeting where we would discuss the wedding party. But alas, my mother once again had shown her wary and preventive side. As soon as I arrived, I found her whispering to Jasmine. And as soon as they saw me, they stopped talking. My mother stood up and went to the bedroom. "What's going on here?" replied Jasmine softly, knowing she wouldn't spill the beans. And since she wasn't about to tell me anything, I followed her into the room. "Were you talking about me, weren't you?" "Mum, what did I do? It seems happiness doesn't please you anymore. I don't know why, ever since you met Gabriel, you've been acting like this." She lay on the bed, silent. I was done with it all. She had the worst behavior among all the guests at this wedding. Even more absurd, she was my mother. What does she want from me? Is she happy? She asked coldly. Can't you see it's not obvious? Yesterday, didn't I look miserable? Why do you even do this? Do you really want to know what I think of your Gabriel? I don't sense anything good, and I believe you'll suffer in this marriage. Rather that it's your wish. You know how long I've been with him. Why haven't I suffered? I think you're jealous of me. The last line, I don't know why I said it, but it came from the deepest part of me. Yes, you're jealous of me because Dad never gave you so much honor and luxury. Jasmine, who until now had listened without speaking, then felt I was going too far, trying to calm me only made my rage flare. It seemed impossible that such a woman could jealously eye her own daughter. Otherwise, why can you hate someone who doesn't know you? You'd die in the village. It was he who came for you, bringing you to town to heal. But to heal someone and then try to kill them behind their back. Jasmine, are you listening to what she says? Mama, why does he kill you if he knows you? What did you do to him? Do you know each other somewhere? I think you're losing it. Mom got out of bed and said, losing it? Elise, you're my daughter. If you didn't pop out of my ass, I hope I'll still be here when you need me someday. She gathered her bags and decided once again to leave.